BFBS Forces news, join KFOR patrols in the north of Kosovo.
We're here to create a safe and secure environment for the people in Kosovo and the people of Kosovo.
Our job, fly and fight from the home base, and we've got to be able to do that in whatever conditions.
This training is mutually beneficial to both sides. For the riflemen themselves, it's about getting that valuable training in the desert.
At the heart of Lympstone Parade Square, the King's Squad, and there could be no more special guest of honour than His Majesty the King.
And whilst I'm not moving the controls at all, I can certainly learn from what I'm seeing as to how a manoeuvre should be flown.
This year, 337 recruits have completed training. That's a first-time pass rate of 99.7%, which is incredibly high.
So we have a philosophy on this ship called the Way of the Warrior Sailor. It argues that in order to create morale, you must love and value everybody.
This beam here came from HMS Indefatigable. The beams from the Armada were eventually integrated into the pub.
At BFBS Creative, we are creative storytellers. We are specialists in unravelling the untold, even from the most difficult locations. We help you reach the audiences you need to reach. From documentary interviews to addressing communication hurdles and crafting your content strategy, we can do it all. We thrive in the toughest environments, ensuring your stories are told brilliantly.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the RAF Storm Shadows channel. I am once again joined by the immeasurably enthusiastic Roman in the commentary box this evening, Roman. And as you can see on your screens there, it is the RAF Storm Shadows taking on the Army Esports side. A fascinating insight into what we might come to expect in the inter-services. But for tonight, it's the Armed Forces Dungeon League. Let's get this show started.
Carries this forward, gets 50 with Fraz. Ed, get into that one. NB tucks it away. And as I say, they need an opening goal. They have managed to get one here, 1-0.
Frazic, though, does some nice defensive work. But P finds Cedric. Cedric finds Envy. Beautiful stuff from the RAF Storm Shadows. 2-0.
Approximately a minute and a half left to go. Envy goes for a pass to P. P with a shot. P with a goal. Tucked away in the top left corner. 2-1 to the RAF Storm Shadows. And they are shining through here after the Army. They've struggled to rotate. They struggled to get into position after kickoff. And P managing to give the RAF Storm Shadows that advantage
Didn't
again.
have a lot to work with, didn't have a lot of the goal to aim at, but he put it in the one place that it was going to go to, and Cedric makes it 3! And the floodgates are beginning to open here for the RAF Storm Shadows. A great 30-second burst, and now they've just got to hold it, or even go for more.
Air power wins the matches in Burgundy, and you can't tell me otherwise as Ed will tuck that one away, and the Storm Shadows have the advantage here with 3 minutes left to go. Nothing about air superiority there. P just managing to get a pass across. A very strong 50 indeed, and Ed had an entire net to tuck it away. 1-0 to the Storm Shadows, and the Army, they've been crumbling since game 3. To control this one and take it downfield, intercepted immediately by Ed, and this pressure from the Storm Shadows has been relentless, and Envy, the man from Cosford, will tuck this away to make it 2-0, and almost an improbable comeback for the Army to try and pull off with 90 seconds left to go. The way they've been playing, the RAF Storm Shadows, they're currently unstoppable.
The RAF Storm Shadows, an incredible goal. They've done it again, and it's 2-0 now, and it's 3-0 now. The lead looking unassailable.
Gives Ed some time here on the sidewall, gets it up. P is on the backboard lurking. Is Ed going to get this one away? No, but Envy's going to be there. Envy's going to tuck it away. It's 4-1 to the RAF Storm Shadows. Rose-tinted glasses are on, and I don't care. It is game over. The RAF have trampled the army. 4-1, could be 5-1. I don't care what the scoreline is. It's going to be game over with 1:06 left to go.
You're going to have me in the commentary box. I'm going to be hyping the boys the entire time, not just the Storm Shadows, the Sentinels and the Shadows as well. As this game comes to a close with almost P tucking away a very nice shot there, just drops at the death. Storm Shadows 3, the Army Sparrows 1, and well, the Storm Shadows did it in fashion late on.
Hi, I'm AS1T Stelios Elia. In-game I am known as SE1997.
Corporal Elliot Greenwood, and in-game I'm known as G-Wood.
My name is AS1 Tech Edward Nussey-Waite, otherwise known as Cedric in-game.
It's already looking like they've upped the bar from last year, which is a really tough job to even do that. We are looking forward, not just myself, but as a team, to going out on that stage and representing the Royal Air Force as best as we can.
Playing up on a stage like this is the first time. We had a thing called Rank A, where it was all the top players played against each other, and then we picked our teams. I've finally made it into the first team after a lot of hard work.
Both my teammates are really talented. We gel super well. Really looking forward to playing with them on stage and seeing what we can do.
From my end, the leadership were outstanding, no issues at all.
Not just from my own personal line management, but also the Royal Air Force Esports Association backed us very well, I should say, and made sure we had all the support we needed to get here, and they're always a phone call away if we do need them for anything.
Really excited to play Coast Guard. It'll be closer than everyone thinks after playing them. We think we stand a bit of a fighting chance.
The second Air Force team, emphasis on second now. We're a solid team, three really good players who could do some damage for sure.
Although we are in different forces across NATO, we are colleagues, so it's nice to meet them in person and just have a laugh and play against them and hopefully beat them as well.
You ready? AFG, you're washed.
Coast Guard, you ain't as good as you think you are. We're coming for you.
Space Force, stick to mini golf.
We're going to win it.
No, we're not.
We're going to win it. We're going all the way.
I thought it was good until I saw them play. The Americans will never hear the end of it if we end up winning somehow.
Look, I'll shake on it. You know me, I don't drink. I will drink heavily if we win.
That the pressure put down. Stelios with no boost thrown into corner will be wildly out of position. G-Wood needs to put it to the air. Don't go towards net on this one. Instead, Cedric go for the double touch. It's a beautiful finisher. 19 seconds into OT, and the RAF already going to match point.
That's right, boys. Once again, I'm joined alongside none other than Stelios. Stelios, at the very start of that match, you pointed out the fact that the strategy was aggression, was confidence. Do you personally feel like you guys delivered on all fronts?
Yeah, it was a series that we just stuck to the plan and executed it to perfection. I felt really good myself. I felt the other boys also played their part individually, and then we executed the plan as a team together. It was almost perfection, which means we've got to live up to that in the next round as well. So we can't just rest on our laurels. We've got to take it forward.
Well, for you personally, you were the first one to score goals across, I think, 2 or 3 of those matches that we saw there as well. Was that part of the game plan for you to be the force of nature, as it were, in this matchup?
I'm certainly a force of nature, but usually not in front of goal. It's usually Cedric or G-Wood that are bagging the goals when it counts. However, the way we're set up is it doesn't matter who has the chance to score. It could be any one of us. The way we play, we create spaces for anyone to score. And it just so happened that it was me that was in the prime position to put it in the back of the net, and thankfully I did.
Half, but not for too much longer. Sentinels have broken free, although only momentarily. Now into the retreat.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the RAF Storm Shadows channel. A busy time for our community at this moment. There is a lot going on. I mean, just in this week alone, we have 3 streams for you. We have the RAF Hurricanes attending Enclave LAN #1 this weekend coming to take part in the Rocket League showdown there. And that will hopefully push for a full Storm Shadows community attendance at the next Enclave LAN. But back to the action this week. In fact, before we get to the action this week, I would like to once again welcome my commentary partner for this evening's action. It is the one and only Kyle, also known as Staley. Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for this one. A very informed Falcons and a resilient Tempests who are looking to get their names back on the top.
Indeed, that is the case. And would you say, I don't think anybody can argue against it, it is by far, at this moment in time, the in-form armed forces side, the British Army Esports Falcons. I don't think anybody can argue with that. They have been phenomenal since their rebirth in December. Fezzi has built that team very, very well. And they've come back since losing to the RAF Tempest side in the Inter-Service Championships, where they had to watch the final from the stands. But since then, they've been absolutely impeccable in their performance. And, well, they are the team to beat at this moment in time, Stelios. I don't think that can be argued. Am I correct in your ears?
No, I think the main duo of Walmsley and Onza just look absolutely formidable. I think we had the narrative of Envy and Cedric for a little while, and I think it's just been completely overpowered by a new duo who, in the military, are just absolutely dominating right now.
Indeed, I think we are just about to get ready, but there is one more thing I'd like to draw your attention to before we start this evening, is the rest of the week, really. So if you are, because most people end up tuning out of the stream pretty late on, we have tomorrow for you a really interesting game. It is an AFEI preview, almost daily, which is the RAF Storm Shadows against the French Air Force, our very good friends at the French Air Force. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We know that watching them scrim the Tempests yesterday in training, that they have improved massively. Though the Tempests were able to make a decent effort out of it, it's certainly clear to me, Stanley, that this French team is they're up for it this year at the AFEI. So it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, Stanley, on Thursday we have that nicely poised token match between the Hurricanes and the Shadows. Thoughts on that one on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I've been playing a little bit of six-man with Roman, and I think he's been playing really, really well. So that's definitely one to look forward to. Really, really enjoying the rivalry they've got, Hurricanes and the Shadows. But yeah, I can't really decide how it's going to go, but I'm always going to favour my Shadows.
Your Shadows, Stanley, is that so? Your Shadows?
My favourite team, my favourite team.
Well, they have managed to create history within the RAF Storm Shadows community, taking you back to last Friday, I believe. It was Friday, wasn't it? It was Friday just gone.
It was Friday, yeah.
Where, they had their best performance as a team off the back of 2 years of hard work, where the Shadow side simply just grafted. And on the night, in the AFEI Qualifier, they were able to shock the RAF Tempests. They just caught them completely off guard. And what did that result in? It resulted in them qualifying for Ramstein Air Base AFEI in just under 2 months' time now, of course pending a final date. But, I mean, as a fan of the Shadows, Stanley, what did you make of that?
Shout out to Steve. That's all I'm going to say. That man, he joined on Friday. He's no longer around to play for the Shadows right now. But that Friday, he turned up and he was the man. He really was the man.
Indeed.
Very impressive stuff from him on Friday.
Hopefully he'll be watching. I know he has internet where he is at the moment, so I'm hoping he'll be locked in and potentially watching. And a nice good evening to you all in the chat, by the way, as well. I appreciate the chats, I appreciate the subs, appreciate the follows, as the RAF Tempests begin their bounce back from the AFEI against an unbeaten BAE Falcons. It's going to be a fantastic game of Rocket League, Carl. I'll defer to you one more time for our predictions as I give the players a signal to go. For me, it's the first time I'm betting against an RAF team, but I will say the Falcons are favourites.
Yeah, and we come into game one. I'm going to say it's going to be 4-1 to Falcons. I think Tempest, they have been playing well. They've been a little bit off the mark with scrims. They've not been scrimming too much since that result. It would have been a week and a half ago now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they come out. I think a break will have done them good. I'm not sure if all of them are up to full health. I think there's illness going all around the Tempest side. But hopefully that doesn't impact the comms too much. And it's a great start and a great shot from Onza.
Yeah, G-Wood there couldn't quite get a substantive clearance. Missed that second touch, and Onza catches Subi off guard on the line. I think Subi is one of those most affected by illness, and the Sam as well. So 2 out of 3 of the Tempest players playing with illness tonight. But regardless, even if they were at their full strength, it is a mammoth task to beat this Falcon side, as they have shown their quality now consistently since that December Inter-Service Championships. And you have to say, Stanley, as it stands, they are favourites. I have to say, for the end of year LAN, they are favourites to take that Inter-Service Championship from the RAF Storm Shadows if things remain as they are. Still plenty of time in the year, still plenty of qualifiers to work with, and that is a nice shot from Walmsley at the near post, who doubles the lead for the Falcons early on.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of the dynamic duo, the titans of Military Rocket League right now. Everyone coming into the year was a little bit worried, a little bit scared of Onza and how he might impact this first team. But Walmsley has also shown exactly why they are #1 on the leaderboard with points at the moment. They are performing so well and just more consistent, I think, than the Storm Shadows. I think they match up quite nicely, but there's just a level of intelligence in the threes gameplay and a level of consistency that the Storm Shadows just haven't yet got.
And it's certainly something they will look to attain. It's certainly something they can attain. They have shown it in various matches, most notably in their RLCS run, where they were knocking out 2.1k teams. I mean, if they can get back to that level, they'll be, in my opinion, the strongest team in the Armed Forces again. But again, they've got to overcome this Falcon side, who have been faultless thus far, and look to continue that now with a shot gets saved though by Samez. And as we speak right now, actually, the Storm Shadows are indeed in scrims. Samez left helpless on the goal line with no boost, and Onza makes it 3.
Yeah, and they seem to really just be constricting the Tempest of any space at the moment. And eventually it's just too overwhelming and overpowering, and Onza gets another goal. And this is looking very, very dominant. And for this, it's a lot about Tempest just finding their pace and finding where they're at against the best team in the military. And at the moment, okay, they get a kickoff goal and they get one back, but it's not looking too confident for them.
Who knows? It's a time for the Tempest to benchmark their level. At the moment, like I say at the start of the stream, this is the best team in the Armed Forces that exists. There's no doubt about that. Sure, they haven't quite got the Inter-Service Championship under their belts just yet, but they keep going like this. It's looking like they will, right? This is a perfect time for the Tempest to benchmark themselves against this side. Set it almost as a marker to say, okay, this is a level that we need to beat by the end of the year. This is a level that we need to compete with by the summer qualifier, for example. Of course, I know we do have the spring qualifier in this month, but a more realistic target, I would say, is to look at that inter-service summer qualifier as a good gauge of where they are compared to this level of opposition. If they're somewhere near it, they might be looking good for the fall qualifier and indeed the end of year inter-service championship. If they're far away from it, it will give them the information that they need to then go away and keep scrimming. I know these players, they are determined players. Elliot is a serial winner. He's used to winning in his RAF Storm Shadows career as a whole, from back when he was playing for the Noir team to then playing for the Storm Shadows and now for the Tempests. He's used to winning. And then look at his teammates as well. Samez, his attitude to the game is that, I'm sure you'll attest to, Staley, is he's a very dedicated player. He only wants to develop his game, and he'll do nothing to stop at that. So combining the two of them alongside Subi, whose mechanical skill level is absolutely ridiculous, and his ceiling as a player is very high as well. It has all the hallmarks of a team that can go on and win the Inter-Service Champions, as a whole. But right now, they just need to get back on their feet since the AFEI Qualifier mishap, and then start building from there. And I think tonight is a good chance for that.
Yeah, and I think that qualifier we saw most recently just shows the depth of Rocket League in the RAF now, and across the whole military as well. We're seeing a lot more teams of higher quality and more dedication within the tournaments, in the inter-services, in the RAF qualifiers as well. And we're just seeing more and more of an infrastructure built. I think these inter-service qualifiers and the inter-services championship at the end of the year is something that we can all look forward to.
Absolutely.
As it's getting so competitive now.
It really is, and like I say, like I am over the moon that the Army, and indeed the Navy as well, have also upped their game, by the way. But I am ecstatic that the Army are playing at this level now, because ultimately it benefits both of us as we go into these international events. It means that we both are able to represent our services and indeed the UK Armed Forces a lot better if we're both playing at this level. And at the moment, it really is a joy to watch this Army side, and the RAF teams are rising to that challenge now. They're beginning to wise up to it. As you can see, by the way, a much improved last couple of minutes from this Tempest side. Scored the last goal, seemed to get a bit of good momentum on their side, and it may yet result in us. It was a good save from, I think it was Subi there. But it does indeed result in the Falcons taking game 1. A good start from them, and we'll have to see how that ends up later on down the line. But I think, Stanley, it's fair to say that it was an improved last 2 to 3 minutes from the Tempest there.
Yeah, that looked really solid in the end. They got a couple more shots off. They were definitely transitioning through the midfield a lot better, and they seemed to have a lot more space, a lot more boost once they settled into that game. But it was a great start from the Falcons.
Indeed, let's pop straight back to the action then. As you can see, both sets of players on the pitch and ready to go then for game number 2. We are underway again. The Army Esports Falcons away in that orange corner. It's Subi this time in the blue corner for the RAF Tempest, getting us off the mark, and that's a nice pre-jump by Elliot Greenwood. A staple for this Tempest side. Now the captain as well. He goes, looks to find Sammers in the middle. That's a nice interception though. I think that was Onza, and a nice pre-jump as well. G-Wood with limited boost. It will cause drama, but he deals with it very, very well. And it's a good start again from the Army Esports Falcons, looking for that early goal early on. But at least for now, the Tempest able to match that. And now Subi, here he goes, mechanical. It's what he does. He had the chance there, but closed down immediately by Gids. Very much aware of the danger he possesses. That was close by G-Wood. And the Tempest now pushing for the opening goal.
Yeah, and it's a really good start from the Tempests. They've settled into the game a little bit better. They've not conceded too early on, and hopefully they can just pinch that first goal in the game 2, so that they can get some confidence and really push this Army side to a latter stage of the series.
G-Wood squares up Wormsley. Wormsley with a nice intelligent touch away to his left-hand side. Nice flicked effort as well towards net. Double commit by Subi and Samez. Those are the small bits of macro play that they got to be ironed out before the next inter-service qualifier, because they're good enough to compete at the highest level. It's just these minor plays that end up costing them, and that's going to be a chance for Wormsley. Has no boost, but is able to come across and force Samez to clear off the line and miss the boost as well. And Onza, Subi try to get it past him. Onza with very nice play. G-Wood now has to scamper across, leaves it for Samez, the former captain of the RAF Tempests. Has a good pinch by him. Also feeling very, very ill tonight. I think even G-Wood is also slightly under the weather as well. It very much is an ill Tempest side. But at the moment, they're putting up a good fight. Gizzo demos G-Wood now. Onza gets the flip reset. Samez misses it off the post, bounces in. And the Army Esports Falcons lead game 2.
Yeah, and it was a very awkward one there for Samez and G-Wood. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but anticipating the flick from Onza, and it just didn't really come through for him. And it sort of trickles in there off the post. They're looking a little bit tough at the moment for the side of Tempest. They're getting caught on low boost a little bit too much, but I mean, we saw how limited boost Shadows were when they played against Tempest, and they could make it work. So who says Tempest can't do a similar thing and take a leap out of the Shadows playbook?
Indeed, that would be something special.
For Falcons, it's just about taking those deliberate touches, finding the space, and maybe just slowing the pace down a little bit more at times while you're in possession of the ball. I think they're just getting caught at playing at one speed at the moment, which is why the Tempests are maybe having a little bit more joy.
They saw it as well, by the way. That's a nice bit of communication between the two of them. There's a shot for Samez. It's off the crossbar and down. That was a golden opportunity to level things up here for the RAF Tempests. It wasn't taken, and now Wormsley with a shot. It's going to hit the top left. Can he follow it up? No, he can't. And now Onza has to challenge Subi early. Does. Forces him high. Gids comes across. Good interception. It's better from a Tempest now. They're beginning to look like they believe a little bit more. They're beginning to look like they're trying to solve this ridiculously hard Falcons puzzle. And they're doing well. There was bumps on the back line there. It opened up the chance for the Tempests. Didn't quite work out that way. But as we approach underneath the 2-minute mark, The Tempests looking like they're going to believe. Subi goes to drop it down, just couldn't quite make contact, but better from the Tempests.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of midfield space, and there's a lot of infield passes coming from the Tempests at the moment, and that's what seems to be working really well. If they just get a couple more critical touches, better ground shots maybe off these passes, there's no reason they can't take this game a lot further and maybe take a lead. Subi dropping it down, and I think that's the man that's really impressing me. He's the man maybe under the weather the most.
Yeah.
And he's taking some incredible touches and getting some really, really good beats for space on the pitch. G-Wood now finds Samez. Can they transition? They can't. It's a great block.
Ooh, it's getting closer for the Tempest. They're linking up. Kyle, you're seeing what I'm seeing. And there's the mistake. And there's the capitalization. The Tempest finally level. It was coming, I believe. A nice interception by Subi. It fell kindly for Samez, who slots it home into the empty net. The Tempest level with just under a minute to go.
Yeah, and we see that even the top level of armed forces do make mistakes. Onza there, he's panicking, he's under pressure, and he takes the ball, potentially off his teammate Walmsley, and it goes in, unfortunately, with the 50.
Samez now for the Tempest, searching for a winner. G-Wood going for bumps, leaves it to his teammate Subi. Let's go, says Fez. Good game, this says Stimple. Let's go, says Ellie. It is a really, really good game so far and a good series. The Falcons starting as I expected, to be honest, excellently and playing in the same vein of format they've been doing since December. There goes a flipped effort from G-Wood, and it forced a good save by Onza. Now, it looked like it would have been a Rule 1 there between Samez and Onza. It didn't quite happen. Samez cuts play. A nice cut indeed. It drops dangerously, but nobody there. And I have to say, Stelios, as we look to be heading into overtime, the Tempests are looking on top.
Yeah, they look like the better team. They're forcing these errors. They are forced errors. Good offensive plays from the Tempests. And they need to just show a little bit more confidence. That one breezes under the player off the backboard. Doesn't quite get it on net, Onza. And they hang on by the skin of their teeth for 0 seconds.
Oh, that's nice play by G-Wood to free up the space for Subi to shoot. But again, more defensive mastery from the Army Esports Falcons now as we begin overtime. The net temporarily empty. G-Wood makes the right call to leave the boost and turn around. He's still on 0 though. Nicely centered by Walmsley. Low boost all round, and it needed a clearance, and it came from Subi. That's a lovely play from him. Subi looks to bump Onza, didn't quite work out. Walmsley being a pest on, I think that's G-Wood. Samez comes across. The Tempest looking alive now, I must say. Gids plays it to his left-hand side. Release the tank, says Nelly. Oh, they're going to release something. That's a shot on the post by Walmsley. And now, here comes G-Wood. Looking to 50 with Onza. It's a good 50. Subi takes control of the play. Gids able to save. And that's a good bump again by Subi, though. Frees up Onza. Pinches it downfield. Samez looks infield towards G-Wood. Calculates or not, it actually works out well. G-Wood a nice double touch, and he will chase that. He will force the mistake again. There's a nice play there between Gids and Onza to convert the ball away out of the defensive third of the Army Esports Falcons. And still, Staney, still it's 1-1. Still we're in overtime as we approach the minute-and-a-half mark.
Yeah, and this one's a very tough one to call. It's going up and down the field. Midfield is looking pretty derelict and empty. We see G-Wood again getting that fast transition, and I think it's just a bit of a stalemate between the two captains. Onza, he's been slowing the plays down. He's been getting his team under control again. They look a little bit better in the overtime. G-Wood, been playing the 50s out, been getting the beats exceptionally well. And just one maybe good play, good shot, could be enough from either team. Onza, can he get on target? Subi's there. And they can transition out. G-Wood on the ball again. He's been the danger man. Can he lead his team to a victory?
Subi inside. G-Wood to score the winner, says Stimple. We'll see about that one soon, I'm sure. I would certainly love that from an RAF perspective. But what a series this is turning out to be already. We're still only in game 2. And it's so entertaining. This will be so awkward though for G-Wood to deal with. Has to try and squishy it. It's missed by a couple of players. And it will be Walmsley to slot it home into the top right. Dangerous for the Tempests, and they paid the price. G-Wood left so awkward there. Subi had to try and cut. A good bump by Gids, and it was enough to free up Walmsley for the shots. It's 2-0 to the Falcons.
Yeah, and I think that one's going to be a tough pill to swallow for the Tempests. They came out really all guns blazing. They were getting off some great shots, and they just didn't quite have the final product to get it past a very, very solid Falcons defense. I think all three of them made some pretty vital touches and saves in that game. But I spoke in that game about maybe slowing the play down when you're on the ball, and that's what Onza did. And that's what got them back and got them that victory in overtime. Just changing the pace of the game, getting control of that boost, and really being deliberate with your touches. Don't get caught just banging the ball off the backboard. Look for your teammates, play smart with the 50s, and the better team on paper will provide and will come through on top.
So then, here we go. Totally agree with that analysis, Stanley. I certainly hope the Tempests can at least find one way back. But it has been two really close games, and actually two really enjoyable games. These Army Royal Air Force matches are really starting to entertain every single time, and I absolutely love it. It makes for great viewing for the neutral. It makes for great viewing for either one of the Army and RAF players, or sets of players, to be honest, and sets of supporters as well. And I absolutely love what I see from each of these two sides. Stipple, by the way, I don't know if you were aware, but the AFEI dates have been paused. So it might be worth chatting to somebody that booked the tickets for you guys to see if they can get them refunded, because the dates are changing, I believe. Not confirmed yet, of course, but there's a bit. I don't know if you've been made aware. I think you probably would have by now, but just in case you haven't. I'm hoping for a reverse sweep, says Nelly. Me too. Of course, we're not in reverse sweep territory just yet, but it would be something special if the Tempests can indeed pull that off from 3-0 down. Of course, it's not 3-0 just yet. We shall see. Simple says they need to come out how they ended that game. Agreed. And here they come already searching for the opening goal. I think if the Tempests can get the opening goal, it will make a huge difference to them. But gives with a good beat. Falls to Wamsley. Empty net. 1-0 Falcons.
Yeah, and I think it's an easy play to overcommit on. They've been pushing for that goal so relentlessly that eventually that third man does just get impatient and he goes. And a good beat out of the defence and an open net for the Falcons. That's an unfortunate way to concede in Game 3.
Sam Jiba with a good 50. Gids takes his time just to wait dash and set himself. It's a nicely done from him. Gids with another good 50 as well. And another one actually falls against him this time. Onza with a really awkward touch. Couldn't really do much else. Jiwood takes his time, centres, but a good save from Walmsley. Now Samuels with some defensive work to do. He just drops it down. Jiwood with a good cut. Now one-on-one with Gids. Tries to take it around him, but Gids with a good save. And Jiwood, oh, it's unfortunate, but he's put it home into his own net. And that is so unlucky. I know he's going to be kicking himself for that one. It was the right idea. He just needed a bit more communication, a bit more space left, I think, by Summers as well, running onto that a little bit too close. And it's 2-0 to the Falcons.
Yeah, again, another unfortunate goal. They're just trying to be a little bit too forceful with their plays, I think. And with the pressure from Onza right behind, the touch came from G-Wood. It's just gone past that. Again, a double commit in their defence, but the transition looks promising. Onza takes touch, and he slows the play down again. And that's what he's been doing all series. Creating space, being deliberate with his touches. Gids now, can he get the ball read? Gets it middle. And Samus gets it on the transition.
Subi now. Walmsley cuts nicely. Subi and G will double commit again. That's got to change. It's got to change at some point, the double commit. It could be a number of things this evening with all the illness, but it seems to be a fundamental issue for the Tempests. Again, look at the miscommunication. It's causing all kinds of issues. And Fez, I hate to say it, but the Tempests can't match Falcons even yet. Well, Fez, since the Inter-Service Championships in December, where the RAF Storm Shadows took first place and won the Inter-Service Championships, the Army went back and rejigged their teams, introduced Onza to the fold for this Falcons side, who are the first team as far as the Army are concerned. And since then, every match they've played against RAF opposition has resulted in a convincing win. They are yet to be beaten since the Inter-Service Championships in December. Of course, they have to earn that title in the December coming, but at the moment, I don't think anybody, including myself in the Royal Air Force scene, can argue that the Falcons are the #1 top team to beat. And as they're showing here tonight against the Tempests, they are quite far ahead in level. And it gives the Tempests a benchmark to aim for, a level to aspire to, and it's certainly achievable for them. I know they will be able to achieve this level. And yeah, as you say, the Army are looking to put their best foot forward this year. They're doing just that. And I actually love it. It makes for exciting viewing for all of us, and it makes for competitive competition for all of our teams, for all of their teams, and indeed for the Navy, who are also looking to improve on last year's performance in these service championships as well. But for this game, Kyle, I think we can safely say it's going to be 3-0 to the Falcons. They will probably have 4 match points to work with. And unless we see something dramatic from the Tempests, I think it's a safe bet to say that they are going to take the series.
Yeah, I think the game management has just been a little bit too much from the Falcons. I think those first 2 goals maybe broke the confidence, the momentum of the Tempests, and they look like they're struggling a little bit. But they get one, and hopefully that can snowball them back into their greatness, into their good team plays. A good pass out of G-Wood, good shot out of Samez, and that's what we want to see. We want to see those infield passes where the space is, which it has been all series. There is a space in the midfield. And if they get those beats, and they can then get it in the middle, and they can cut those infield passes, there's no reason they can't start scoring more goals. They just have to be a little bit more clinical, and they have to just be patient. Manage your rotations a little bit better. Maybe the communication's a bit lackluster with the illness, but if you lock in and you focus, then you can definitely at least get 1 game.
Well. There is some kind of a fight back happening here. A slight mistake by Onza. I think he had limited boost and tried just to get some kind of touch to divert it away from his goal. Ended up going into his goal. At least just for the last minute, there is some kind of a fight back here for the Tempests. They have been looking better. And I think, my god, my voice just cracked like an absolute demon. They are looking full value for their last 2 goals. Whether that will actually amount to a full comeback, we shall see. But there goes Samez, squares up Onza for a nice touch, looks to his left, looks towards Subi, that finds the back of the net, and all of a sudden, for being 4-0 down, the Tempests are within 1.
Yeah, and that's Rocket League, that's the game we love. 4 goals can mean absolutely nothing. All it takes is a lapse of concentration, a lapse of speed, and it's back within 1. 44 seconds left, and anyone's game. This game 3 is now.
That's a nice touch.
2-1 in the series could really mean it is anyone's for the whole series at that point. Best of 7s, long format. Until you get onto that match point, nothing feels safe.
Oh, that's a good effort. A goal. It finds the bottom corner. Surely it goes in. It does. And Kyle, I don't believe it, but from 4-0 down within 40 seconds, it's 4 all.
Yeah, and you have to say that it's just mistakes. Those first 2 goals, mistakes coming out of the Falcons, a lack of concentration, maybe a lack of respect slightly, and you completely lose momentum. Rocket League is a momentum-based game, and they can't find the counter-attack there, and this is a great opportunity. 10 seconds left, Samez gets it off the wall, Subi gets the beat. Is it going to bounce up? It stayed low, G-Wood high up in the last man, and it bounces down. 0 seconds overtime.
That was an intelligent touch from Onza, by the way. I don't think I think we're glossing over that one too easy. But there's a chance for G-Wood. Can he put it home? He can! The Tempests come back from 4-0 down. And honestly, a minute ago, I was counting them out myself. It looked done. It looked down, out, and dusted for the Tempests. But they fought back. And they've won this game 5-4. What an incredible comeback. It's 2-1 in the series. And ladies and gentlemen, it's game on.
Yeah, I think massive credit to the Tempests. They're showing that resilience. They're showing that their training is coming to use. It doesn't matter whether they're 2-0 down. It doesn't matter whether they're 4-0 down in the game. They're still putting up their best efforts. And they still want to show where they're at in the armed forces structure. They want to be at the top. They don't even want to be second in the RAF structure. They'll probably be putting in a token at some point soon, I'm sure, to be taking that Storm Shadows title. But also in the armed forces, they're looking to beat the best and be the best. And that's what they've shown they could do. 5 goals in under 2 minutes is absolutely incredible.
It is, and it's nothing short of the miracle I said that the Tempests would need to get back into this one. They have managed to find a way. That's a nice Bit of play though from Gids and Onza. Results in a shot from Onza. Didn't quite find its way into the back of the net. That's a good 50 now. Samez. Oh, if he judged that one a bit better, he would have had a shot on goal, but it was admittedly quite awkward. Onza waiting on the backboard there. Intelligent play from him again. Really is leading the Falcons side very, very well. At least he is who I assume to be the captain of the Falcons side at the moment in time. And there's good reaction, good vibes in the chat towards the RAF Tempest right now. It looks like they are the clear favourites, but there goes the chance. Sorry, clear fan favourites, I should say. I would still argue that the Falcons are looking dominant in the series overall, but certainly last game was magical for the Tempests and might be the catalyst that sets them back on the right path towards inter-service success and ensuring the AFEI Qualifier result never happens again, for them at least. And only time will tell. When do I get to see my boy Fraz play though? Certainly during the Rising Stars, having a fixture maybe sometime next week, but G-Wood has put the Tempest in front, and it does look like that result has put a new lease of life into this Tempest side. And as Vix has said in the chat, Tempests are now moving, to be fair.
Yeah, and I don't think Falcons look out of it at the moment, but as time goes on, more and more, they haven't scored for a long period of time now. It's going to be pushing 5 minutes until they got their last goal. And as that starts setting in, it will start worrying them. Maybe mentally, are they going to be able to come back? Are they going to be able to break through the defence, the Tempests? And I think the longer they keep it a clean sheet, the Tempests, the more and more they stand a chance in this series to swindle a comeback.
It looks very much on. That's a good beat by Onza. This will be dangerous for the Tempest to deal with, but Samez comes across and steals the boost. Vital play from the former Tempest captain. Knocks it downfield. Wormsley knocks it up. G-Wood's there to intercept. Beats Gids. This will be dangerous. Will there be a follow-up? It was by Samez, but Onza was equal to it. G-Wood dummies for Samez. Samez takes the boost. Can he make a play here? Does get over one. G-Wood demoed by Onza. Clever play from him again to just wipe out the Tempest danger. And now, away come the Falcons. Demoed. G-Wood demoed by Onza again. What can they do here? Can they make something happen? Wormsley, bit of a misplay. Unfortunately, he's been class all night for the Falcons. That's a nice shot by G-Wood. Finds the post, and Gids able to flick forwards for the army.
Yeah, and I think on the side of Tempest, they just look a little bit better structurally. Their recoveries are a lot better, and it means that they're not getting caught in last man as often. They've got teammates behind them at all times, and it gives them the confidence to play with more freedom, to play with more flair. Samez goes for a double, and it does go wide. Subi with boost, tries to get it on net, off the post. Wormsley takes it away.
The pressure is all from the Tempests. It's coming, surely the second goal is coming. But the Falcons, at the moment, able to just outlast the pressure. But Subi puts it home from a ridiculously tight angle. And the Tempests, who have been mightily improved since that sensational comeback, double their lead and look in control.
Yeah, and it just shows Rocket League is a massive, massive momentum game. Falcons, a confident two-game victory. And in third, they were visibly ahead by 4 goals, looking very dominant again. But a lapse of judgment, 1 goal comes, and the floodgates opened. And since then, it's been a very, very convincing effort from Tempests. We've seen the ball in the half of Tempests. Falcons have been on offense, but it does not maintain the same amount of pressure and the same danger. Onza gets his shot off, and he's the man maybe mentally who has stood strong. He's the one maintaining his level. He's still got his shot on target. Gids finds the pass, and that's a very, very good transition.
That just shows you how dangerous this Falcons side are. They are really a joy to watch. I've said it on many, many occasions. We cannot write them off. They have perhaps either the Tempests have raised their standards significantly, which, by the way, is probably the case, or the Falcons took their foot temporarily off the pedal. But whatever happened, it's the Tempest games now to lose. And now the questions are asked of the Falcons for the first time in a long time on the Storm Shadows channel. Can they come back? Can they complete their comeback? They've got 1 goal. There goes Samez, looks to bump Wormsley. But now Subi positioned very, very well. Onza with a nice pre-jump. Subi has enough boost to beat him. Goes low. Intelligent touch. But only as far as Gids. This will be so difficult to deal with. And Subi has to divert the ball away inside the final 35 seconds now, Kyle. It's looking like it's going to be the overtime or a Tempest win. Who will take it?
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to get a goal. A bump comes through. Subi still gets the touch. Walmsley gets on target. And it's not looking too promising. The game is just swings and roundabouts right now. It's just turning so quickly, and you can't tell who's on top. Falcons, the last minute or so, have just kept that pressure. Since that goal, they seem to have just gained a new flare of confidence. And they're putting a lot more pressure on the side of the Tempests. G-Wood now picks up the boost. He's been the star man for me, really. Can he carry his team to this second game victory? Gids now gets it into the midfield. G-Wood finds it. It's in the corner. No touch. Subi pops it. Samez got the shot now, keeps it low. And Onza stays grounded and makes a very, very vital save.
The clutch man for the Falcons, Onza, with another last-ditch save. It was nicely done. It was nicely worked from the Tempests. But Onza was equal to it. And now, away come the Falcons. That's a nice shot. Samez has to get there. Can't quite make the save. And Walmsley gives the Falcons game number 3, and now 3 match points to play with. And oh my god, what a series it's turned out to be. It's ebbing and flowing, and now the Falcons have the advantage.
Yeah, I think the only beneficial thing to say now is my prediction of 4-1 is on. I think it's a shame that the Tempests lost that game. I want them to win the series. But Falcons, they bounce back. And I think that man Onza really showed his level in that game there. I think he kept his calm and he changed the pace of the game, and at every vital point he was getting those touches and he was making those clutch plays to transition out of defense, to stay on the offense, gain the pressure again on the offense. And I think for the Tempests it's about, okay, can we get Samez back on those shots? That shot, even at 0 seconds, it was an excellent one. Can he keep firing away? Can Subi keep getting those beats? Can G-Wood keep getting those 50s, keep getting those infield passes? If they can keep those things up, then they can definitely push this game series further.
And they're searching for an opening goal immediately. That's a nice... And they're going for the battle buses. There's 2 battle buses here on the cars of Gids and Walmsley. I wonder how that's going to go down in the Tempest camp. Samez centres. Onza with the Batmobile now. I've seen Onza play with this car on numerous occasions. He is actually, that's the first time I saw him play military rocket league in general, was in the Batmobile all those years ago. And now here comes G-Wood. Has it enough for a second touch. Samez will be there, and he's put it onto the post from close range. It was awkward because he had no boost, but you really should be putting that one away, I believe. Or am I being too harsh on him there, Stanley?
No, I think that is one that you've got to be putting away, really. And it's that lack of clinicality, that lack of final product that has really not got them further along in this series. They have made chances. Do not get it twisted. These guys are playing very, very well. It's just that, unfortunately, Falcons are just a little bit more clinical.
OG Batmobile is the car to use, Stel. I totally agree. It is a wonderful car. However, I cannot use it for the life of me. I mean, A, I don't have it, and B, I don't know, my judgment just goes haywire when I switch to a Merc, let alone something as crazy as the Batmobile. But if you can do it, if you can pull it off, some of the best players I've seen have used Batmobile. I'm not mentioning any names, Plevo. And they are crazy, but that's dangerous by Walmsley on his own net. And still the Falcons survive as we just tick over the 3-minute 20 mark. Subi drops it down. G-Wood will be there. Knocks it goalwards. Can Samez get there? He can. And the Tempests open the scoring.
Yeah, and Onza got caught on the front post. Couldn't quite recover the way he wanted to. And it just trickles away. And Samez puts it in the net for certain. And they seem to be getting that first goal a little bit more frequently now as the series has gone on. And it gives them so much confidence and so much more pressure on the side of Falcons that these games are going to stay close. And it's off the post. I really thought that one was going in there. Not quite sure, Stel, how that one didn't make it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it just needed a last touch. That's lovely from Wormsley. Didn't quite come off though, and now Samus can come across with boost. Can he put it goalwards? He will try and centre. G-Wood just needed to turn. It's unlucky. He went for the sweep on the back line there of the Army defence, but it wasn't to be that time. The second goal is coming here for the RAF Tempests. I feel like the Tempests are making chances but just can't finish. That's exactly what Kyle was saying, Sully. It does seem that way. They've made chances, they just can't seem to put them away. And that is in part due to the stunning composed defence of the Army Esports Falcons. But it's a good benchmark. If this is the level that they're starting at, they're starting their rebuild at, then it's certainly a positive level to start from, and a lot of positives to take from this series as a whole, even if the remainder of it doesn't go their way. There is a chance though for Wormsley. Squares up Sames. G-Wood has to come across, and they will be able to clear. That's a nice touch by G-Wood. Relieves the pressure for his team.
Yeah, and I think we've seen, again, Tempests came out well, and they looked like they're going to get a 2-goal lead. But it wasn't enough for them in that last game. Onza tries to find Gids, can't quite make the touch. And these guys, even in the battle bus, they look pretty solid. Onza as well, I know he's in a Batmobile. It's a tough car to use, but it's high risk, high reward. It's very good for those touches, and it's almost like a different sport when you're playing against a Batmobile. It feels so different in the 50s and in the air.
Subi has to cuts nicely and gets a good second touch as well. Beats Onza 1 versus 1. Can G-Wood find the bump? They went for it. Wormsley wrapped round. Intelligent play by Wormsley. World-class defending. And the Army net survives the second goal on a 5th occasion. Good stuff by the Tempests. Great defending by the Falcons. And they are really beginning to up the stakes here. The Falcons, if they want to win and have an early shower, they've got to find that next goal. Now that's a lovely shot by Onza. Finds the top right. And what a finish. And he does make it 1-1.
That is exactly what I'm on about when I refer to the Batmobile. Absolutely clangs it at the net. Top corner, and it was pixel perfect stuff. And that car will just sling shots over 100 kilometers an hour permanently, and that was really good stuff. I can't help but think that if Subi just went a little bit faster with his dribble before, he would have had an open net. If he just trusted the bump, trusted the process, just speed up the play a little bit if you're Tempests. As soon as you see that ball, if you think you can hit it, go. Just challenge, play with freedom. And they can definitely still get something out of this series.
There's a reset gain there. Wormsley causing all kinds of mayhem. Subi's got to turn. He does. Gets the ball out. It's a temporary double commit from the Falcons. Can the Tempests make them pay? G-Wood gets the bump. Subi has to turn in. He does. Plays it infield. Samus will try and get there. Battles with Onza. And a good save by the Falcons captain again. Fakes G-Wood out as well. It's lovely composure. Pinched by Gids, flicked on by Wormsley. Dangerous from the Falcons. Can they steal it in the last dying seconds of game number 5? No, they can't. And away we go to overtime for a 3rd time this evening.
Yeah, and we see Onza, 100 boost. He's looking dangerous, but he can't quite get the touch. And that's the danger of Batmobile. High risk, high reward. It was more awkward for him, and he couldn't quite pull it off. But he's been the star man of the series. He gets the bang. Doesn't beat G-Wood. Gets the touch. It's a bit of ping pong right now. Subi gets up and beats him. Onza reads it off the ceiling. Samus with a little bit of space. He's going to keep it low. Smart plays from the Tempests. Gets it in field and he gets the boost control. Can they maintain some offense now? Subi gets the beat. Onza's going to take a touch. Tries to speed it up with a pinch. Doesn't beat Samus. Wormsley's up. And you're just finding that there's a little bit more pressure in the midfield. They're challenging in the midfield a little bit more. Those infield passes aren't possible. The demo comes through from Subi, and G-Wood is the man that scores. Almost role reversal. You'd probably be expecting Subi to be the man on the ball, get the beat. G-Wood to be getting the demo. But they're proving that they speak amongst themselves. They know how to play each other's roles, and they get the winner. And that's a massive, massive goal for the Tempests.
A big boost for the Tempests. That is absolutely right. And I felt, I must say, I did feel the Tempests were better in that game. They were full value for their initial lead. And that cracking goal by Onza with that Batmobile, as you say, it's high risk, high reward. That was some reward to gain. A beautiful goal to level things up. And then in overtime again for the third time this evening, great team play, great team cohesion from the Tempests, just to play disciplined, work the opening, and find the all-important goal to take us into a game number 6 here. It really is tantalising stuff from both of these two sides. Who will come out on top? We're into the 5th game now. No, sorry, game number 6 now. And I really can't wait to see. We could be destined for a game 7.
Yeah, it's looking promising. The Tempests are playing well. They're playing very strong. Good catch from Subi. Gets the 50. Is it open? G-Wood can't seem to get the touch. It's a very, very good start from Tempests. And you can't help but think, if they get that 1-0 victory lead again, and they can get ahead, then this could snowball into a very, very dangerous place for the Falcons.
Indeed, momentum, as you have said it before on this stream, actually tonight, momentum is such a key thing. G-Wood beats one. Subi now, the net temporarily open, looks infield, as clever, intelligent play, saw that Walmsley was coming across, attempted to beat him with the pass, but the pressure still comes from the RAF Tempests. Subi knocks it inside. Sam with a side flip, and he will probably have to let this one go. Gids plays it across. Good first touch by G-Wood, knocks it downfield, goes for the demo, but Onza smart in avoiding. He's done his research on G-Wood, knows the playstyle. Sames, what can he do now? Looks inside, limited boost, has to let that one go underneath him. Fakes for G-Wood. Walmsley with a nice first touch, good 50 from him, and the net is temporarily open. Onza looks inside towards Gids, Gids plays it to his right, and Subi able to bring the ball away. Can't do much with the amount of boost he's got in the tank though. Leaves it for Walmsley, who shoots, but G-Wood able to divert. And at least, for now, Stanley, these two locked in, I would say, a stalemate for the first time this evening, where neither of the two sides look like they're on the front foot necessarily, but the two defences are the ones on top, at least for now.
Yeah, and I think it goes back and relates to that midfield being more present. There's a lot more pressure, there's a lot more frequent challenges happening in the midfield, and it's just giving everyone less space to be able to make that play. But if you get a couple of beats, or you get a couple of good 50s, there's no reason an open net isn't looming behind that last man. There's a high block on both of the teams, and as soon as they break through, I think the floodgates are going to open again, and we're going to see a high-scoring game. It's rolling back now. Walmsley takes the touch, making it one he can follow, which is good. Beats two. G-Wood, the last man, covering. He's been the anchor, the rock. And Walmsley again. He's firing on all cylinders in that battle bus. And he's fired one just above the net again. Onza gets his B. He's in the Paladin now, mixing it up, almost like Subi. Subi gets the pass to Sam, and Sam couldn't quite get it in the net. They're getting physical again now, Tempests, and I like that. That deep man, if you can get that bump on the last man, then they're going to get some joy. A shot off again, and Tempests look like they've swindled it in their favour again a little bit now. They've broke through that defence, and they're just pummeling shots on the net of Falcons. And it looks like it might go game 7.
Looks maybe going that way. Unless, of course, the Falcons have anything to say about it. It has been a much improved Tempest as the series has gone on. Onza with a good clear. Getting now into the dying embers of game number 6. Will it be? Will it be for the Tempest? Will it be a fantastic comeback and a great win earned for them? Or will it be the Falcons continuing their dominance over the Royal Air Force teams since December? Dramatic times, more theatre on the RAF Storm Shadows channel. We always bring it. These players always bring a good show, no matter what. And we always thank them for their time. And grateful to have our army friends on the channel, as always. That's a nice clear by Gids. That's a nice touch by Walmsley. Minute and 17 to go. G-Wood plays it away to the right. Gids looking to bump him, and he does. It's a lovely calculated bump, but G-Wood manages to recover. Onza with a shot at goal. Subi's awkward. Onza lets it go for Walmsley. Walmsley with a shot. G-Wood has to go here. Doesn't quite get there in time. And Subi with a vital bit of positioning, able to clear as Gids' 50 falls against them. Now a chance for the Tempest inside the final minute. There goes Subi, centres. There's a bump by G-Wood. Will it find its way into the net? No, because Walmsley is there with another last-ditch save. It seems to have been the story of the night for the Falcons' defence. Always in the right place at the very last moment. G-Wood's there. Can Subi convert? He can. The Tempest take us. No, not quite just yet. It wasn't overtime, even though in my head I thought it was. The Tempest potentially taking us into Game 7.
And it is a good point to make. Gids did have that save. Subi dunks the defender and they get ahead. But that last-ditch effort from the defensive Falcons seems to be perfect. They seem to get in those last-ditch touches, those challenges, so frequently, and it seems rather reliable.
It does. It really does.
Despite the onslaught of offense from the Tempests. That's going to be over Subi. It's not on net. G-Wood panicking, takes the 50, and it stays in the corner, and it should be okay for the Tempests.
The ball in the right place at the right time now for the RAF Tempests. It's a good punt downfield though by Gids. It will be something Salmons has got to deal with, and it's a bit of an awkward touch. G-Wood has to come off the backboard. Onza with a wonderful 50. It will forward to Wormsley. Can he equalise? No, he can't. Gids is there. Onza cuts as well. Dangerous times on the RAF Tempest goal mouth. G-Wood gets the touch, drops it down, and into Game 7 we go.
And you can't help but think, if Gids got that bump on G-Wood, that was looking very, very dangerous. But the man is not losing to his own tricks. G-Wood taking pride, I'm sure, in dodging that demo and hitting the ball down. And it's going to go to Game 7. And I don't think anyone at the start of this series would have had it going this far. But Tempests, they are so resilient and they have such a good attitude to the game, such a willingness to win. And G-Wood, the captain, really showing that and leading his team by example.
Alright then, I guess we are going to do the series then for you this evening. Sue! There you go, we are into Game 7. It deserves a Sue. 4-1 my foot, Staney, says Fez. Fez, Staney, you have been getting quite the abuse, really, for your 4-1 prediction. I don't know if you have anything to respond to in the chat to those comments, because they're not going to let you off the hook easily. Inspiring, says Vix. Indeed, it's been an inspiring performance.
Yeah, well, I've just got to say credit to the Tempests, really. I think they've done more than what anyone probably could have anticipated in a very, very tight, close series.
And I myself am also of that opinion, by the way. I as much as I love my Tempests, I know how good they can be. I did not expect this evening. I expected a good performance from the Tempests. I expected the start of a comeback, the start of a bounce back, the start of a rebuild for them. But never did I imagine that they would come back from 4 goals down with 40 seconds left to show the resilience, to stay in the series, to take the next game, and to take us to a game number 7. But the Falcons, again, will show their quality. They will show their class. They won't like that they've been tested here tonight. They have been excellent the whole evening as well. At times, they have been unlucky. They could have had a couple of goals if things went their way a bit more. And here they go again. It's Gids. Diverts it centrally, and that was a dangerous chance. There is a bit of panic. Wormsley's there. G-Wood has to come out and makes the clear for the Tempests.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to note is Gids and Wormsley are back in Fennec. They're taking this final game a lot more seriously, and like that blossoming rivalry between the army and between the RAF is showing. Even though it's a show match, they do not want to be losing bragging rights of being unbeaten. And Game 7, anything can happen. Hopefully the Tempests can start coming back on top. I think it's been a good start in the first 2 minutes for the Falcons, and they've had a couple of chances. But that clinical final touch just doesn't seem to be going their way, and it doesn't bounce down enough to get on the end of it.
And you can see now the Falcons really turning up the pressure on this Tempest net. It's been all them. It's been all them, I must say. The Falcons have had all the pressure, all the goal line activity in front of the Tempest net. But the Tempest, at least right now, are able to stand firm and able to answer the questions that have been asked of them. Subi with a good touch. G-Wood knocks it down the line, and he will chase and hurry and hound the Army Falcons. Onza, more good composure from him. Now in the Fast and Furious, Back to the Future car. Love that, by the way. Stylish looking DeLorean, I think is the name of it. That's a nice clear. Samez being demoed will have to come and surely take control of the situation. Doesn't do so. There he goes now. Dangerous for the Tempest. Cleared away by G-Wood. Onza left to defend in front of his own goal against 2 Tempest players. Does the job exceptionally well, as he's been doing all night. I think it's fair to say, Staney, that whoever you put at the back for Falcons, they all look equally composed, all look equally capable of the task of defending anything the Tempest have to offer. And there's the shot by Gids. Will it find its way in? That was dangerous. It fizzed past the far post. Wormsley was lurking, but the Tempest survived.
And And Tempests, do they get it onto the net? Walmsley gets the last-ditch save again. And I think that's what we've been saying all day, it seems. Last-ditch saves from the Falcons all the time. And you referred back to it a moment ago. But they all look so confident in each other. And they're all consistently getting those vital touches. And there's such pressure, but Subi doesn't quite find it on target. It comes just out off the crossbar. The infield doesn't quite pay off the way G would wanted it. And I think the pressure is Falcons look on top, but they know, Tempests, that they can score on the counter-attack. There have been so many goals for both teams that there is such a confidence in the counter-attack that I think that third man is just so weary to go, and no one really wants to commit their full team to a play.
It's got to be the confidence factor, right? They're coming off of an all-time low, and it's like they've managed to fight through immense odds here tonight as well to get to this point. We're into the final 36 seconds. The Falcons, I have to say, it has been all them this game. There is a chance for Walmsley. Sam is able to cover, and Onza with another redirect. That's dangerous again. The Tempests somehow surviving. The Falcons unlucky not to have at least 3 or 4 goals, but the all-important stat, at least for now, is that it's 0-0, and we are heading destined for overtime number 4 this evening, unless there is one more piece of late drama here. It's 9 seconds on the clock. It's flicked by Gids, and G-Wood comes across. Walmsley. Subi has to get there. Does. It's a good flick. G-Wood will flick goalwards. It does hit the floor. And ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. It's game 7. It's overtime. It's next goal takes all.
And I think momentum says that Tempests take the game. They've missed a couple of touches, and Falcons haven't been able to get the read, haven't been able to get that goal in regulation time. So I'm giving it the side of the Tempests. I believe they can come on top. And all I want right now is a G-Wood goal. I think the leader, the captain, he's been showing that resilience. He's come back from a breakaway from the game, from the qualifier, and it would really, really do this team massive dividends if they can keep that confidence and get a victory in the show match.
Dangerous though. Onza, you can't give him time there. He's a dangerous player to be giving time to. That's a nice touch, but Subi there on the back post. What a read on play. They forced him high. Subi was there to read it, but you can see the Falcons still applying all kinds of pressure. They're not letting the Tempest breathe. It is really backs to the wall stuff, and there goes Onza again. Looks for a plan B. Subi not beaten again. He has been an outstanding defensive asset for the Tempest tonight, and long may it continue. Subi's there again. Walmsley turns. What can he do? Subi there again. More defensive prowess from Subi. Subi misses it that time. It bounces up. Walmsley will be there first. Subi, the brick wall, clears. And 50s for the Tempest, and G-Wood able to consolidate the clearance. But you can see low boost staining on the cars of the Tempest. This is more dangerous times. They are living on their own goal mouth, but somehow they survive.
Yeah, they're living on the edge, and you refer back to Subi, probably the only one that was maintaining his boost. He had about 4 challenges in a row. G-Wood goes for the psycho touch, and he almost pulls it off. And it's on an open net now. It's just wide. G-Wood gets a touch again, and they are hanging on by the skin of their teeth right now. G-Wood, can he get the follow? If he can get this infield, it could be dangerous. Gids fakes the ball for his teammate. Subi now, the dangerous man in overtime. Samez gets it over onto the net. G-Wood, can he keep it on top of the backboard? He can. Walmsley misses. Subi's up. And it's not quite enough. Samez keeping it in play. And they're recycling the ball really well right now, Tempest. They go for a pinch. Subi doesn't quite make contact, and it's just staying in the corner. Are they going to overcommit? No, Samez staying back, playing a soft touch. G-Wood now. And it's just end-to-end stuff. Anything can happen. 2.5 minutes on the clock, and we're almost halfway through another regulation.
The bump on Onza there frees up some time for the Tempest to clear. Good shot by Walmsley. Neither of these two teams want to lose this. It has been entertaining stuff from both sides. Credit to the Army. Credit to the Royal Air Force Tempest. It's been exceptional. Talent on display from all corners of the armed forces. Rocket League communities, that's dangerous again. And the Tempest still survive. It's almost Shadows-esque from the Tempest. Just robust in defense. Living sometimes dangerously, but otherwise calculated. As Onza brings this one forward now. Demoed again from Samez. really is a total stalemate at this moment in time. G1 with a good clear. Samet rises high. He will get there first. Can he hit land the double? No, he can't. Leaves it for Subi. It's off the cross. Sorry, Samet's off the crossbar and down. G-Wood with a cross map 50 doesn't fall in their favour. And the Tempests can't quite find the deadly counter-attack, but it's the Army who come forward again.
Yeah, and it's looking like a flaky game now. A lot of panic, a lot of insta-challenges. Just whoever gets that bump, whoever gets that offense, and it's come! And it was Subi, the star man of the overtime. He gets that bump, he creates that space, and they've done it. The Tempests, they did it in overtime, and I might have been wrong on the 4-1 prediction, but I redeemed it with the overtime prediction. So chat, don't ridicule me forever.
Absolutely unbelievable from the RAF Tempests. I mean, they look down and out. I've got to admit, I myself wrote off the Tempests. But in the end, they fought back against an incredible Army Esports Falcons side who have been unbeaten, and to be quite frank, quite comfortably unbeaten against all Royal Air Force competition since December. Well, today, they met their matches against the RAF Tempests, a phenomenal performance. And I'll be honest, the Falcons were looking scary in that last game. They had all the possession, they had all the ball, they had a lot of chances in front of goal. But the prominent facts were that the Tempests won in overtime due to a clinical performance. A bump on the last man, freed up the shot. I can't remember who even scored it at this point. It's all a blur to me now. They've done it. The Tempests have broken the streak of the Falcons. The Tempests, more importantly for them, have broken their own curse, their own duck, and they've started their rebuild in the best way possible. Stanley, any man of the matches, I don't even know where to start from. Potentially for me, Subi was absolutely incredible tonight.
Samet's goal, a Subi bump, and possibly the man for the bumps today. And I think you're right. Subi takes the man of the match purely on that bump alone. I mean, that game 7, like you say, it was all in the favour of Falcons. All the possession was going their way. All the pressure was going their way. But it's a game 7. Anything can happen. And the Tempests proved that today, and they took it.
So then a massive congratulations to Subi for his man of the match performance, and of course a massive congratulations to the RAF Tempests on the start of their rebuild in the best possible way. Tomorrow we look ahead to the Allied Forces Esports Invitational, as it's almost a preview fixture between the RAF Storm Shadows and the French Air Force as well. And then on Thursday, of course, we go to another token match between an awesome rivalry that's brewing in the RAF internal rankings between the Hurricanes, who are defending their position as third place team in the Royal Air Force, against the RAF Shadows, who of course produced that magical shock against the same RAF Tempest side that you saw this evening. It's been Stelios, it's been Kyle. We both bid you a farewell. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and we'll see you all tomorrow.